looking for win number 3 early on this season. Radford's already got 3. And here's their starting lineup presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. It is a senior-laden lineup. Hey, keep an eye on the one sophomore out there, Justin Cousin, who can do a lot of things with you. And here at Bryce Jordan Center, it's Penn State looking for win number 3 early on this season. Radford's already got 3. And here's their starting lineup presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. It is a senior-laden lineup. Hey, keep an eye on the one sophomore out there, Justin Cousin, who can do a lot of things very well. As for Penn State, well, not a lot of senior leadership to talk about. As a matter of fact, Bob, the only senior in this lineup is Brandon Taylor, and he's being asked to shoulder a much larger load this year.
Well, DJ Newbill averaged 20 points per game last year, and the year before that, Brandon Taylor goes from nothing, so he earned a start in this one in place of Jordan Dickerson.
Penn State in the home whites, and Peyton Banks controls the tip. Got a great set of officials here tonight, headed by Gene Serratore at the Monday night game between the Bills and the Patriots last night. Right away, Radford will get the ball on a foul on Shep Garner.
Well, Shep Garner is one of the better sophomores in this league. Sophomore guards, there's a bunch of them. Brian McIntosh, of course, and the leading scorer in the league right now. 2-3 zone, Josh, to start the game.
Mentioned Radford's 3-2 loss to Siena and VCU, but that huge double OT win against Georgetown. Quite a way to start their season. They turn it over here, and that's been an issue for them.
They average 17 turnovers a game. The guy to watch for them is Rayshawn Davis, number 5, their point guard, who's defending against Garner. Had 28 against the Hoyas, and the game-winning shot at the buzzer. I like Reeves, 23, the freshman.
Kicks it out, Garner the miss. He'd actually been very strong from beyond the arc to start the year. 9 out of 19.
Yep. Has made 59 in his career so far. If you take all the sophomores in the country, he is the 6th leading three-point shooter in terms of makes going into his sophomore year in the country.
Lefty Keon Brown with the miss. Banks will kick it to Garner, or rather Josh Reeves instead for the offensive board. This is Garner here wearing 33.
Heavy-duty pressure by Davis on Garner. I think Radford feels like if they tire Garner out, there's no good option as a backup point.
Oh, Reeves with the finger roll for the first bucket of the game. The freshman from Fairfax, Virginia.
Oak Hill Academy basketball factory. Reeves is a great, great talent. I think he brings the talent level of Penn State up. And they've also had a great recruiting year this year.
That's a 3-ball, and it goes. Radford getting that out of Cameron Jones. Now, he can really stick it from out there. That's his 11th three-pointer already this year.
11 out of 29. Pretty good percentage for Cameron Jones also.
So it had been just 3 out of 18 from the field lately before that one. Underneath, foul drawn by Julian Moore. That's going to go on Keon Brown, his first.
Reeves on the move. Uses his body to protect the basketball. Lob from high to low. Moore getting an opportunity at the free throw line.
Penn State not exactly.
He is 2 for 3 on the year. Penn State is 61% from the free throw line. I think that's what you're about to get into, Josh.
Yep.
And that's not going to win many games in the Big Ten. It's early, however.
Only Ohio State is showing at a lesser percentage, but you're right. I mean, here's a couple of 2-1 teams we're talking about, Penn State and Ohio State. And I think we all fall into that sometimes. We want to extrapolate out, right? You're looking for how's the season going to go.
Right.
And 3 games in, it's just not a fair barometer in any way.
Not yet. Especially the loss to Duquesne by Penn State. Duquesne made 17 threes in the game. I mean, that is inordinate. And they are an excessive team in the use of threes. Duquesne is. It was just a bad night for the Nittany Lions in Pittsburgh. Man-to-man defense by the Highlanders.
Before the putback, foul's going to go on Holcomb.
Well, Brandon Taylor is an inside-outside player. And right here, taking the ball to the basket is one of his strengths.
He draws a lot of fouls because of that relentless physical style that he brings, no doubt. Patrick Chambers, a guy you've gotten a chance to get to know very well.
Yeah, you know, he's interesting in his 5th year. Both of these coaches in their 5th year at their respective universities. Both of them, as assistant coaches, went to the Final Four. Patrick, of course, with Villanova in 2009. But Mike Jones, the head coach of Radford, went to the Final Four with VCU in 2011 as an assistant coach. So both of these guys have been to the promised land.
Mike Jones inherited a Radford team that had won 1 game the year before he got there and very quickly turned them around.
22 wins the last 2 years.
3 didn't go for Justin Cousin, and Penn State the other way. Here's Taylor. So weird to watch Penn State without Newbill, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Hard to the hoop is Peyton Banks trying to follow his own miss. And Radford can run the other way. Radford's not great in terms of fast breaks. On the unline and travel.
Radford's strength is the fact that they have quickness. There's Mike Jones in his 5th year. And as you mentioned, his record is only about 500 because he inherited a program that was really down in the dumps. His dad played professional basketball as well in the ABA.
You guys probably just missed each other, right? He was with the Nets.
Yeah, I ran into him once or twice. But he's a very articulate guy, very cerebral in his approach, very positive with his players. They lost 2 guys on their team last year, one of which, Javonte Green, was one of the best players in the history of Radford, and Price, who was a point guard. So they're replacing a lot, just like Penn State is with Newbill.
Yeah, they've got 5 true freshmen to the Radford Highlanders. And 7 seniors to go with that. Their sophomore and junior classes are basically non-existent. Whistle off the ball here. And they're going to get Radford and Taj Owens. Hey, look at Penn State's construct, Bob, and I think the best is yet to come when you talk about Penn State. They are not a very junior and senior heavy team right now. A lot of freshmen and sophomores already doing some things for them, and their recruiting class for next year looks fantastic.
Yeah, they've signed 3 guys from Roman Catholic High School in Philadelphia and 1 from Oak Hill, so they've got a bunch of guys. It's the highly rated class they've ever had at Penn State. Nice hustle by Isaiah Washington here.
One of the sophomores, but it's turned right back over, and the Highlanders the other way.
Josh, bounce pass, man.
Right? Where's that? What is that? Here's Owens.
Would have been a layup.
Couple of open looks for 3. Jones took it. Washington again with a hustle play. And it's a held ball, and a little different now that you can't just call timeouts indiscriminately, right?
Exactly. Players can call timeouts this year. Coaches cannot. Big. So the practices are good with those 2 guys playing. Owens. You and I and our producer, Matt, could fill out that squad.
Owens with a miss. The 2 teams are a combined 2 of 12, Bob, to start the night. As our producer and director are lacing up.
Brandon Taylor, number 10, is in Penn State. He is looking for the trail 3 right now, and he is not getting it. They have been well scouted by Radford. They are very concerned about his whereabouts, and they are picking him up early.
Had 14 this past weekend against Duquesne. Washington with a miss, but the rebound right in there for Jordan Dickerson.
7-1 means a lot when you get close to the basket. A lot of subs in right now. Devin Foster in the game also, number 3 for Penn State.
Radford turns it back over as, again, the teams have combined now for a 2 out of 14 start. Now, we should mention Radford had some travel issues getting in. I know that sounds like a shock. Nobody's ever had a problem getting in or out of State College that I know of. But their bus broke down near the Virginia-West Virginia border late last night. They actually spent the night in Beckley Springs, West Virginia, before a replacement bus showed up, took them the rest of the way this morning. Look at that drive. Acrobatic Devin Foster. better drive than the bus for Radford had.
14 minutes a game. That's only his second basket of the year. 2-3 zone continues to give Radford problems.
Polite, the freshman. Yaya Anderson wearing 11 is a guy who can shoot it.
He can jack it. Yaya Anderson was their leading returning scorer. Here it's going.
Yaya. No. Taylor with a hustle tip to keep it hot, but Radford's going to end up with it anyway.
Devin Foster, he's left-handed. Powerful player. Uses his body to screen off the defense. Nicely done. Devin's coming into your living room right here. Very nice play by Foster. He wants playing time. Nice trap here right in front of us.
They get the 5 or the timeout? Got the timeout.
Yaya Anderson called timeout on that particular play. Great D, but
State, so forgive them if they're a shade rusty here, Bob, and they are. They're 1 out of 7 shooting so far.
At practice today, I asked Mike Jones about the travel issues, and his response was very interesting, Josh. He said, well, it was a good learning experience for our guys. And he said, you know, you're going to deal with adversity, so you might as well learn how to do that without going crazy. And, you know, a little learning experience right there for these young men.
Davis kicks it out.
Ball movement is good by Radford. Slides of the defense are excellent by Penn State. They switch to man because the shot clock is going down.
Davis high off the glass and he scores. Rashawn Davis. He splashed onto the national map in that opening game at Georgetown. He had the game-winning shot, a whole bunch of other points too.
Yep, 28 of them, averaging 15 a game.
That ended a 4-minute, 20-second scoring drought for Radford. Donovan Jack in the game. Dickerson too, so they're going big here right now. Shep Garner rattling out. Christian Ludite the other way.
I like this guy. In practice, he really impressed me. He hasn't played a lot for this team. He's got a very sweet stroke, left-handed player.
3 lefties on this Radford team, same time. Shot clock at 10. Remember, it's a 30-second shot clock this year, not 35. Polite with the pivot. With 2 on the clock. Another offensive board for the Highlanders. And Polite draws contact. Ed Polite Jr., the true freshman, and that goes on Josh Reeves.
The drive. They got caught switching from zone to man. Everybody got confused. Davis saw it, took it strongly. Very nice play. You know, a lot of times this year, because of the shortened shot clock, teams are going to switch during a possession from man to zone or from zone to man. And Penn State did that at that juncture, but they got caught.
Tough to say Penn State gets outworked, huh, Bob? Coach Chambers places so much emphasis on floor burns, just getting after the basketball.
You know, I think with the foot speed of different teams, he told me that when he goes into a huddle, he has one assistant tell him who's in the game for the other team, and that's when he adjusts his defense depending on who's in the game. Obviously, if there's a lot of good shooters in the game, he wants to go man and not zone.
Oh, touch foul here on Davis.
You cannot touch a man on the perimeter. When he's with the basketball, it's going to be an automatic foul. On the interior, when a man has his back to the basket, you can put a bar arm up, and you can leave it on him. Can't dislodge him, but you can put that arm on him in the post.
And if all the whistles slow the game down for a little bit this year, Bob, is that okay? Is that just a means to an end?
It's part of the growing process, right?
I would think so. That one rattling out on Reeves.
Players don't want to foul out of games. So if a lot of calls are made on the perimeter early, guys are going to learn to keep their hands off the dribble.
In the corner and a 3 goes splashing in from Yaya Anderson.
Yeah, you can tell it's him shooting. He has the highest arc of anybody in the building. Look at that sweet move.
Fantastic all the way to the rack, but he couldn't finish. That's Reeves, the freshman. Anderson the other way. Bolstead into the game. Radford by 2. 6-0 run for the Highlanders right now.
Anderson staying away from the ball, hoping that the defense slides to the strong side. He wants to be weak side all the time, number 11.
They feed him. And off the ball, there's the contact. And the foul goes on Peyton Banks. With that, we'll step away for a moment. A little bit sluggish here for Penn State off the jump. They trail by
big time this year on the perimeter. Hands off. In the past, you could touch a guy once and touch a guy again. None of that this year. Which means that if you have a lot of quick guys on the perimeter, you should be driving the ball to the basket to get fouls.
That rainbow jumper from Yaya Anderson. It danced on the rim, wouldn't drop. And they're going to say that Reeves was on the line. So, Bob, from what you're saying, I'm thinking around this conference, a guy like Melo Trimble, for example, in Maryland, right, who's a slasher anyway. I mean, with what you're talking about, he could be shooting 20 free throws a game.
Yeah, and he shot about that last year, right?
Even
so
without
it's going to be, it's going to be even more to the point. It puts an emphasis on opening up the court, which is what the Rules Committee wants. It also, from a basketball perspective, rewards quickness and ball handling ability.
Anderson, and the rainbow goes this time.
Yeah, he is feeling it. He looked over to Coach Jones and pointed to his chest as if to say, Coach, I'm feeling it. Get the ball to me.
He started the year, Bob, 4 for his first 25. He is now 2 for 3 tonight. And there's Reeves flying on the rim to make
backdoor play.
A 12-9 game.
Beautiful pass by Jack.
And the foul committed by Julian Moore up over top. That great pass, just something we haven't seen a lot of with Penn State this year.
Take a look at the back door. Pass to the high post. When a guy, Yaya Anderson, was overplaying on the sideline Reeves, and Reeves knew to go to the basket. Nice elevation.
Well,
good coordinated. You know, there's 3 guys who knew what they're doing on that play, right?
You had called for the bounce pass earlier. There it was.
There you go.
Sterling Christie at the line. And he'll get another. He's from Williamsport, Maryland. One of the many freshmen brought in for Radford.
They have high hopes for Christie, averaging nearly 5 points a game. 6'6" freshman. Frequent substitution by Patrick Chambers in this one. I think it helps your defense but hurts your offense when guys are in and out of the game so often.
Couple of misses, but a whistle here.
Somebody on Penn State was in too soon.
Early, yeah. Well, again, a chance to clean some things up here in the early going for Penn State.
You know, because Newbill averaged 20 a game, which was a third of the points on Penn State last year, right? That's a big, big deal. I think these guys are kind of feeling their way through as to who's going to take the most shots, where it's going to come from.
Reeves penetrating, and he scores.
That's where it's a good place to start. See that kind of penetration? I mean, that's what they have not had.
That's 6 of the 11 now for Reeves.
He can play.
Missed it this time, and Donovan Jack with the rebound for Penn State.
That was a man's rebound there.
Now he pulls up. And the long rebound corralled by Holcomb. This is Jones, already hit a 3 tonight. Got another one.
Can you say green light?
Apparently, huh?
Man, I'm telling you, they jack, don't they?
Duquesne did this to him over the weekend. It's 17 out of 34 from beyond the arc. Here's Banks trying to answer. Rattled out.
Penn State does not want to get into a three-point shooting contest with this team. I shoot 3, you shoot 3, I shoot 3, you shoot 3.
Jones! Wow. And they need timeout. That's 3 threes for Cameron Jones, who has been just 4 for his last 20 in it tonight.
But he sees the cross-court pass, makes it, and then make them pay for the pressure by attacking the goal. Great play by Reeves.
Who's got more than a half of Penn State's total right now. Radford, though, getting hot from beyond the arc to lead by 8.
Radford saw the film of Duquesne against Penn State where the Dukes made 17 threes.
Garner gets it back here. 6 to shoot. Doesn't need 6. He dishes. Taylor is blocked from behind by Christie. That's a heck of a play. Now Radford can run. 3 ball missing. And a loose ball foul called. That time they got it to Caleb Tanner, who was supposed to be a 3-point marksman. Hasn't quite done it yet.
2,770 points in high school by Caleb Tanner. That young man on your screen right there. Hasn't had a lot of playing time this year, but he also has the green light. What I see so far in this game is that Radford's, one of their things they do well is get after it on the offensive glass, and they have been doing that in this game.
Boy, he was due. Caleb Tanner hits it. He had been 1 for 12 to start his college career. That one kind of swirled around the rim, but down it went.
He took that from beyond NBA range. He doesn't know that he's 1 for 12, you know?
Well,
if you tell him that, he'd say, no, I'm 10 for 12.
Taylor trying to answer, and he does. It had been a 19-4 Radford run. To the foul at the other end.
Deep by Tanner. Nice follow through. Taylor answers at the other end. Watch the feet get set. Also very deep. Nothing but bottom.
And again, it's early, but that's a 50% from beyond the arc for Taylor already.
Well, it's 18 to 3 from three-point range.
Brandon Holcomb left all alone. And again, Radford's for real. They've already taken down Georgetown this year. That's to start their season. Georgetown gave Maryland every bit of a battle about a week and a half ago. Largest lead was 11. It's now 10. Make it 8. And could be a little less than that as Banks is able to bring it on in, and he draws the foul. So what about Ohio State? I mean, obviously they lost a really good player in Russell. Where do they go from here?
They're struggling to find themselves right now offensively. You know, they're a team, they play hard. Thad Matta always gets things done. But they've been victimized by the guys leaving early to the NBA, like a lot of schools. I mean, you think about Kentucky with that all the time, but Ohio State, over the course of the last 10 years, has had guys leave early a lot. Half-court trap coming up, 1-2-2 variety. Trying to get some turnovers here. Penn State being victimized by the 3 so far in this game.
Jones has been one of those guys victimizing the dishes here. And they're going to call the foul. As Jack went in there. It'll be a 1-and-1. Hopefully Jack is okay.
Well, Jack went for the pump fake, and when he did, he easily fouled right here. What you want to do on this is wait until the offensive player leaves the floor.
Jack needs to avoid foul trouble. He was the only Big Ten player to have fouled out as many as 4 times a year ago. He's going to get a Holcomb to the line.
Well, you know, we mentioned DJ Newbill, but they're also missing Ross Travis, who averaged 6 rebounds and about 6 points a game. Interior player. He's with the Kansas City Chiefs on their practice squad now. You know, one of those 6'8" basketball players who should be a tight end. They're missing his physicality as well on this team. They've been struggling at this end offensively, clearly.
Garner's got 3 assists in this game. He's handling the ball here. It's a large total for Penn State, even by game's end, the way it's gone this season early. There's a rattling shot from Julian Moore that drops. Penn State is almost dead last in the country in assists per game right now. But again, we stress that it's very early.
Yep. Garner so far has not been a part of the offense like he should be, nor has Taylor.
3 lips out this time on Jones. And this will be Penn State basketball.
Well, here's what they're missing on the left: points. On the right, physicality. 7.4 rebounds a game during his career. 3 years in a row led the team in rebounding. Of course, Newbill was a dynamic scorer, led the conference in scoring last year. So you miss, 2 elements like that, you're going to struggle to find yourself.
Another turnover. Davis coast to coast. And he ladles it in.
Radford's quickness obviously is bothering Penn State in this game. They're going full court pressure. It's bothering Shep Garner. He is not into the offense because of it.
Garner is the only player on Penn State with more assists and turnovers on the entire team, and it's only by 1.
Yeah.
Foster, he'll try. He got it. A couple of those off the bench for Devin Foster.
Yeah, had that strong layup in the first half as well.
Down to a 4-point game, a 6-point game. They found the cutter, Polite. Ed Polite is making an impact right away. Leads the team in rebounds off the bench. He's been scoring too. Foster, one more time.
There's a guy who wants to score, Josh.
Apparently.
They need it.
Paddled away, and here come the Nittany Lions. Foster drawing the contact here, and he's going to shoot.
Well, he's got 2 powerful drives to the basket. He's got the 3 from the right corner, and now he's driving to the basket. Wrong guy handling the ball out front. This is a terrific steal by Davis right here. Goes the length of the floor, protects the ball nicely. That guy is a scorer, but Foster answering back. This is what you want. When Foster gets in the game, they seem to play faster. Here's a kid who wants to push the ball, and they've got to because their half-court offense has been struggling.
Well, it's early in his season, but 7 points is by far the best that he's done this year.
He only had 1 basket coming into this game on the season. So maybe that Patrick Chambers has found something here.
Taj Owens handling for Radford. Now Jones. Bolstad. There's call him for steps. Good defense right there. Julian Moore got in his way.
Definitely. Bolstad and Polite have been very important players for Mike Jones off the bench for Radford this year. They average 31 points a game with their substitutes. So their depth is something very strong, and it's something that's very, very good for the Highlanders. And they need it because they go full court pressure the whole game. And most of this is man-to-man, not the zone variety.
Foster back out of the game for Penn State. Mentioned he's got 7 points already. His career high is 8. That was last year in the Minnesota game. Garner kicks to Reeves. Radford simply hitting the long-range shots more consistently than Penn State early on. Cousin. And it sails out of bounds. That'll go back to Penn State.
A little bit wild there by Cousin on that one. His dad, Rod, Cousin's dad, Rod, was the first point guard when Radford went Division I. First point guard in 1984 for their first Division I team.
Well, you talked about it early, Bob. Radford this year just turns the ball over too much. It's already 7 times in this first half, so they're kind of trending towards where they normally are. Penn State's only turned it over 3 times. Brandon Taylor been pretty quiet so far. Garner, his 3, got it.
About time. Those are the kind of shots that he needs to be making. He averages 14 a game. Last year, 9. Lou Bill's gone. It's time for him to step up, take a little bit more responsibility for this team.
Radford had a lead of 22-11. And look where we are now with 3:35 to go first half.
Penn State has turned up the defensive pressure. And as a result, Radford turning the ball over more, to your point.
Does it. Limping out. The last touch by Penn State. But the Nittany Lions have get your hands on if you get your BTN Plus on BTN to go working. See Penn State against Bucknell in short order. Right now, Radford one time an 11-point lead. It's been a 16-6 run for the Nittany Lions.
Radford is a spurt team because of the use of the three-point shot. When the three-point shot is going, they can get separation. When it's not, if you keep your mind right, you can get back in the game, which is exactly what the Nittany Lions have done.
Long pass hooked over to Anderson. And now Davis with a foul committed. And he'll go to the line to shoot. Washington picks up his first. Got the State Farm halftime report with Mike Hall and Sean Morris.
Another Northwestern grad like yourself, huh?
My third or fourth favorite all-time Northwestern Wildcat, Sean Morris. Rex Walters and Walker Lambiot and Sean are all top three.
He says the same thing about you. And Dave, I think he thinks Dave Remsen's first and you're second.
I want to put Jeff Gross on there.
Too much equality in number of shots for Penn State. Jeff Garner's not taking enough, and either is Taylor. They're their chief scorers. They got to get involved.
And there's Reeves, just a freshman. He's got 8.
He's the best take it to the basket player on the team.
All the way back from down 22-11. Penn State on top by 1.
Isaiah Washington doesn't do much on offense, but man, this guy hustles. He's made several hustle plays, diving on the floor, inspiring his teammates. He's got to get out here.
Anderson, good looking bounce pass, and the rim rattling dunk is down. That's Polite. He's got 5.
I'll tell you, they attacked the zone pretty well. Penn State caught between a rock and a hard place here with what defense to use.
Sean Morris played with a guy named Polite at Northwestern. No relation. Don Polite.
There you go.
Ask Sean about that sometime. There's a reach in. Get you back to Reeves here, Bob.
Josh Reeves reminds me of Darren Hilliard from Villanova. Left-handed, 6'6", do-it-all kind of player. Taking it to the basket right here. Right here. Polite. Rattles the rim, as you said, right here. Very, very nice pass in the seam against the zone. But this guy, Reeves, is going to have a great career here at Penn State.
They chose Penn State over Maryland. He figured he could make an impact right away. Not about to take minutes away from Trimble or Suleiman, I guess.
No, exactly. And it's a smart thing on his part. And we mentioned the great recruiting class that they have coming in. 3 guys from Roman Catholic High School, 1 from Oak Hill. Teammates. Garner played at Roman Catholic. And, of course, Reeves played at Oak Hill, so Patrick Chambers and his staff, things are going in the right direction. His contract was extended last year through the 18-19 season. But the big thing is they've got to make a little bit more dent in the Big Ten. Last year, 12-1 non-conference, 4-14 in the league. So their chore is to play better in Big Ten games. This is going to prepare them.
The only team they beat last year that ended up going to the tournament was Iowa. That foul is called off the ball here, and Mr. Chambers not a fan.
You talk about Iowa. Iowa's not ranked in the top 25. There are 4 teams from the Big Ten ranked. Michigan State, of course, and Maryland, number 2 and number 3, and then you got Indiana and Purdue. But I think Iowa is an excellent team.
I agree.
You know, not a team that gets burned by guys going to the NBA early much. Very experienced group, very good offensively. Share the ball, fantastic. They are a team that I think should be in the top 25. Here's the top 8, and then we have Indiana and Purdue at the bottom at 13 and 16. But I'll tell you what, when you think about the Big Ten, and you think you got the number 2 and 3 teams in the nation, that is strong.
Well, you mentioned Purdue, and I'm really intrigued by what Purdue's got with their bigs. And I know, again, it's super early, but not only are they 5-0, Bob, but they're outscoring their opponents by an average of 28.5 points a game.
Yeah, they're getting after it.
Man.
Caleb Swanigan, along with Diamond Stone and Thomas Bryant from Indiana, are the 3 best freshman big guys in the league coming in this year. Remember last year we were talking about the guards being, you know, with D'Angelo Russell and Blackman and Trimble. These 3 are going to make an impact in the paint for their respective teams.
These teams here, Penn State and Radford, kind of toggling back and forth now, jumping each other for the lead down the stretch of the first half. Taylor tries it. Got it.
Two best players, right? There you go. That's what I was talking about before. These guys have to take responsibility. That is a long three by Taylor, and he's not a great athlete, but he's a skillful player. And Garner made the pass right on the button that he didn't have to change the ball at all.
He is 8 out of 15 from beyond the arc to start the year. Jones and Davis. A couple of long-range gunners here for Radford handling out front. There's Jones. And his fourth three-pointer of the half.
I'll tell you what, he can knock it in, can he? 6'4", senior, Roanoke, Virginia. Last year he shot 43% from three-point range. Offensive foul on Garner.
Wow. So this will get Radford a last shot. And again, the State Farm halftime report with Mike and Sean coming up.
Take a look at this. Garner goes through, gets two screens, passes it back to his teammate, who knows exactly where he is. 16 points and 14 points. Those two average. They're going to need to get 30 on a consistent basis between them.
Taylor a couple of fouls, Jack a couple of fouls. Radford holding for a last shot here. The Highlanders had a lead of 22-11.
They were making threes during that juncture. You got to give Penn State credit, too, on that situation. You fall behind like that, it gets frustrating. They dug in, played hard, got after it defensively, and that helped their offense. That's how they got back in the game.
All right, time to roll here for Davis. Pulls up, hits it. And that gets us to the end of the first half. The Radford Highlanders, we told you coming in, a team with a lot of senior leadership, a team already that banked a victory against Georgetown. This one, Penn State was trailing by 11, actually toggled on top for a while. Now it's Radford by 3 as we start the second half.
Well, 5 assists, but you got to have somebody to pass the ball to, and Taylor is the likely candidate for that. Right now, Reeves was trying to post up and got a foul on Cousin right there.
Justin Cousin picks it up right away. That's his first.
Josh Reeves is an inside-outside guy. He hasn't made a three in this game, but, man, we have seen him slash to the basket well, haven't we?
Yeah, 8 fun points in that first half.
That's a good way of putting it. He's an exciting guy to watch.
He'll loop it in here to Garner. He can be explosive, too. Banks trips his way through, and he lays it up and in.
10 on the degree of difficulty scale.
Man, talk about fun to watch. Now Davis for Radford. The Highlanders out of the Big South. And picked either 3rd or 4th in that conference, depending on who you talk to. Well, turnaround by Brown. The lefty wouldn't go. And it's Brandon Taylor for Penn State. Again, the Nittany Lions can jump on top.
Taylor's got it.
Taylor's hit a couple of threes in this game already. Julian Moore. Swiveling in and he scores. Julian Moore.
Not a great offensive threat. First start of the year. He wants more.
10 of their last 11 from the field, and a steal here for Garner. The bounce pass. And it's knocked away with contact on Cousin. That'll be his second. Let's go back to Banks.
The drive. The dipsy-do. The English off the backboard. This guy averaged 1.7 points per game last year. He's averaging 11 this year. Obviously, his role has increased dramatically. This guy wasn't on the team last year, and he might be their most talented guy. He does have a block about shooting, however. Right now, as a freshman, Josh, he's more of a take-it-to-the-basket, mid-sized guy, slasher. Doesn't have confidence in his stroke yet.
1 out of 2 from the line. Now, Penn State, you can't really say they're in total reload mode, but I think it's fair to say that next year is when it really could pop. All those guys will become eligible.
Yep.
In that great recruiting class out of Philly.
6 new guys, all talent-laden, coming in next year.
Davis has it rattle on home. That is a 3. And shades of Duquesne over the weekend, I'm sure, for Penn State. They just watched in horror as Duquesne, a mid-major, just rained down 1 3 after another. Good dish. And the dunk for Julian Moore.
6 assists for Shep.
That's a career best.
Playing better.
Penn State had been averaging as a team, Bob, only 7 assists per game coming into tonight. Our State Farm assist of the game, matter of fact, right here.
Well, Shep Garner drives and dishes. An easy one because of his ability to get around people. Sees the floor. But he's got to be not only a distributor for their team, he's also got to score.
Davis dumps it off in a block. Nittany Lions the other way. Taylor, the lone senior on the floor. Banks with the entry. Moore with the touch.
Out of here. Are you kidding me?
He's got 8.
Julian.
And now Garner ties it up. Possession arrow favors Radford, but momentum favors Penn State.
Indeed. Julian Moore, 2 jump hooks, one longer than the next. They are going to him. Surrounded by red shirts. Takes a jump hook from the Big Ten logo. Very nice. Penn State's looking like they're finding something with him.
If Moore can add scoring to the rest of what he does, they might really have something. 8 is very close to a career high for him.
He had 4 baskets coming into this game.
Penn State gets it back. Yeah, he had 1 game where he scored 10 last year. That was at Illinois. But he's trending towards double digits, obviously, tonight. Julian Moore's added about 20 or 30 pounds of muscle over the last couple of years, and that's helped.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. Lots of eligibility left. Well, the halftime talk by Patrick Chambers was pretty good.
Yes,
they looked a lot better in this half than they did in the first half. That's his game. Drive it.
Just couldn't finish it. Though it is Penn State's largest lead here. 3.
You can't back up on Davis in transition. You got to meet him outside the 3-point line.
Brown with the finish. Another one of those Fork Union Military Academy guys.
Yep. A lot of prep schools in Virginia. Oak Hill, the other one.
Garner, who's from Chester, Pennsylvania, outside of Philly. Natural point guard, but can play the 2 as well. Shot won't go. Moore couldn't get the rebound. And here's Radford on the run. Jones all the way. Wow, Radford's up by 1. That's 16 for Cameron Jones.
You got to hand it to Radford. They have no quit in them. When things don't go their way, they just keep on playing the same way. They are attack mode.
Whoa, slipping and hitting the deck very hard was Garner. Taylor rolls it home.
3 jump hooks from the block. 2 by Moore, 1 by Taylor. They should keep going there.
12th lead change of the game.
Anderson's in the far corner. He's the 3-point shooter. And Jones on the same side.
Brown with that line drive hook shot wouldn't go. The hook shots are the domain of the Nittany Lions. To the corner. 3 ball. And Banks couldn't get it.
Too early. Plays right into Radford's hands.
Davis carries it home and scores and draws the foul. Back and forth we go. Radford now jumping on top. And I'll be shooting it from the line when we come back. And this is such a great time of the year, Bob. It is nexus of the football ending and the basketball starting, right?
It's the best, right? I was thinking of Wisconsin and Minnesota. It made me think of Bronson Koenig and Joey King. Those guys are averaging 17 a game for Wisconsin and Minnesota. Big jump from their numbers last year.
Yeah, Joey King reminds me of what Brandon Taylor is doing here for Penn State, right? I mean, okay last year, but just taking it up a couple notches this year. Moore.
Jump hook again, baby. 3 in a row.
That's a career high 11 for Julian Moore. And he'll go to the line.
Keep going there, Penn State. He is feeling it. He gets good position. He's off outside the paint, but uses his left shoulder to block off the defenders. And at 6'10" and pretty good hops. Nice play by Julian.
We talked about Ross Travis no longer being here. Somebody's got to body up. Maybe it's going to be Julian Moore.
There you go. Devin Foster's back in, number 3. Had a good first half.
Tying it up is Polite. We've had 16 lead changes and now 4 ties in this game.
Right now, Radford is dissecting the zone. They're getting the ball to the short corner and going right down the gut. Good passing. Might be wise for Penn State to go some man here.
Garner all the way to the rack. Lefty layup goes.
I'm seeing some tired legs out here at both ends. Defense pretty porous.
Yaya Anderson with that rainmaker. He did it again. That's 3 of those for Yaya Anderson. It's a roof scraper, isn't it? Radford back on top.
He's their leading returning scorer. He just moves without the ball and jacks it up.
Speaking of Jack, he's the guy that dishes to Moore. He got blocked by Holcomb. Radford trying to pad a 1-point lead. Polite is fouled and the bucket goes.
Way too easy. Penn State's defense in the last few minutes has been non-existent. Layup after layup after layup. Ball in the short corner, down the gut. Polite takes advantage. Slow reactions, but Garner counters at this end. Nice little drive with his left hand. And right here, another easy basket in transition. Nobody's protecting the goal for the guys in the white uniforms.
Polite's only about a 60% foul shooter. But gets a friendly roll here.
He's a good player. He's had a couple of double-doubles early in his career. He's only a freshman, 6'5", but plays the power forward.
Banks is out for Penn State. Taylor's back in. So you've got Garner, already a career high in assists tonight. Moore, a career high in points tonight. Do you have a feeling, Bob, it's somebody else that's going to step to the fore? You talked about Devin Foster, who's been a catalyst off the bench. Maybe Josh Reeves gets involved. Here's Garner.
Yeah, Josh Reeves is the guy who can get involved. If I was Penn State, I'd be a little concerned about Garner right now. He is being pressured full course the whole game. You wonder about fatigue with him, whether they can grab him a minute or two before the television timeout.
Anderson with a bounce pass low. Out it comes Lieutenant, who missed. Penn State can tie or take the lead.
You got Foster on the right wing, who's a take it to the basket guy. Same thing on the left wing with Reeves.
Jack.
Don't like it. Don't like that shot.
That's only the 3rd three-point attempt all year for Jack. That's not really his game anyway, right?
Not exactly.
Foul on Taylor is his 3rd.
Garner on the move. 2 beautiful left-handed layups in a row by Garner. He's feeling like he could go on their defense right now.
You talked about the fatigue factor. It's got to be there for Radford, though, too. Remember, the Highlanders playing their 5th game in 8 days.
Yep. And they go, too. I mean, they're fast breaking at every opportunity. They're pushing it. Freshman big man, 45, ball stat at the top of the key.
Lieutenant. And that offensive rebound, the putback going for Bolstead.
In 4 games this year, 15 offensive boards.
Wow.
That's a lot of offensive glass work.
He's 11 out of 12 from the field, too. I guess it's easy when they're all putbacks. Taylor. And now Garner. Taylor.
Yes. Thing of beauty right there, Josh.
Tic-tac-toe, huh?
2 best players passing back and forth, cross-court to one another. They got to dig in at this end right here.
Polite. Good look right back to Polite. And he stepped on that end line to turn it back over. Penn State was down 11.
I think they're calling a foul on that.
Oh, you're right. Wow, that's a surprise, and that's going to be 4 on Brandon Taylor. That's huge.
Decision time, Case, when you get your 4th. Mark it down. 11:44 is when he went out. Let's see when he comes back in.
Jones banking in a 3.
Oh, my.
He's got 5 trays in the game, and Radford out to a 5-point lead. He is close to a career high. Cameron Jones, a senior from Roanoke, Virginia. Not far from where Radford is. Moore. Banks kept it hot, but Radford runs the other way, a 2-on-2. Owens, Jones, another bank shot goes.
Man, he can score, huh? He is not just a three-point shooter. Penn State is doing a poor job getting back on defensive transition.
And now in trouble as Garner needs to get a timeout, leaving Penn State with only 2. Radford on a run right now, a season-high 20.
Having the game of his career. The problem for Patrick Chambers right now is Brandon Taylor, his most experienced scorer. He's got 4 fouls, and he's on the bench, and he's behind. So the question is, when do you bring him back in, and where are the points going to come from right now?
There's that Reese's perfect combination we were leading it to with Moore and Reeves. A couple of youngsters who have combined for 21 for Penn State.
Moore's the post-up guy. Reeves is the slasher.
Garner slashing.
Love it.
Couldn't finish. And before it was banked in, had the whistle. Garner hit the deck hard.
I like his instincts on this. He knows that his team is behind. He's the responsible guy for Patrick Chambers. And right here, he goes into the teeth of the defense. Goes by a couple of people. He's not the quickest guard in America or the Big Ten. But he has good instinct. And right here, getting to the free throw line is going to be important.
He's the guy that said a polite note thank you to Billy Donovan and Sean Miller and Rick Barnes, among others, to say yes to Coach Chambers and play here at Penn State. Taylor again sitting with the 4 fouls.
Garner's shooting 50% from the free throw line this year. Not good for a point guard. Now we got a small size sample.
Yeah, but he's 50% from beyond the arc somehow, and he's 50% from the line.
Yeah, curious.
Well, Moore will take a seat. They'll save his strength for down the stretch here, it would appear. Radford getting hot again.
With a hoping Dickerson, 32, 7-footer, can protect the paint a little bit better.
Anderson, one more time with a 3. That's 4 of those.
They are a confident group.
And again, the shades of the Duquesne game from this weekend. It was 17 of 34 for Duquesne from beyond the arc. Look at that, 11 out of 21 tonight for Radford. Banks doing his Duquesne and Radford impersonation. Peyton Banks can step out and hit him too. So what a back and forth night it's been here at State College. With under 10 to go in regulation now.
It's worth mentioning that in the last 2 years, Radford has won 22 games per year, the last 2 seasons.
And also worth mentioning, Bob, they went to Virginia Tech and won last year. They've won it at Georgetown this year. Garner drawing contact. Foul going on Bolstead.
Garner's now got to make sure that he makes 2 out of 2. 1 out of 2 is not going to get it done.
By the way, Bob, BTN has you covered all week long. Get you up to speed on everything related to college sports every night at 6 Eastern. Join the conversation on BTN Live. Rims out on Garner. BTN Live weeknights on BTN and BTN to go. Now, too many misses from the line here for Garner. You're right. Able to flick that one up and in. That's 9 in the game for Garner. Taylor's got 12. Moore's got 12. But those last 2 guys are on the bench right now.
Switching man-to-man defense now. Maintains pressure on the perimeter, but you got to guard your guy one-on-one off the dribble.
Holcomb trying to maneuver inside. And the foul's called on the Nittany Lions. Fans want to know why. It's on Dickerson, his second.
Well, Dickerson took his arm bar off and used his hands to get the bump.
Let's see.
Watch this now. He's going to foul, no doubt about it. He's got his arm bar, and now watch. He pushes with his body, his lower body, to force the man away.
Jones lobs in. And the reverse going for Holcomb. The California native said he wanted to get out of his comfort zone. So, Radford University, that's a long way from outside of L.A.
Yeah. You know, Dickerson on that last play, 7'1", he doesn't have to jump until the offensive player jumps.
Banks couldn't finish. Gets the rebound. Foster muscles it, had it blocked. And wide open Davis, beating Jones. He's got 23. Well, what a game for Cameron Jones. Remember, he's the guy that had it, along with Rashawn Davis, the huge game against Georgetown to kickstart the Radford season.
Penn State needs a timeout here.
First a 3 ball. It's a 9-point lead for Radford on the road. Oh boy, the long-range step keeps going. That's a 2, but Anderson from way out there near that 3-point line has been gold. And there's the timeout you're looking for. Taylor, remember, playing with 4 fouls.
Well, they can't trade baskets right now. Obviously, with 8 minutes to go in the game, you got to D up hard, and it's got to be man-to-man.
Well away from the play. There's a foul on Christie.
Yeah, he was pushing off in the paint. Knew he had a size disadvantage. Knew he wasn't in the 1-on-1. Brandon Taylor needs to make an impact at both ends right here.
There's Garner. Lips out. Taylor, you called it. You got it.
There he is.
Double digits now for Taylor, but Jones right back the other way. Couldn't finish. And that might be the saving grace for Penn State, the inability for Radford to finish. Again, they've got tired legs, 5 games in 8 days, and there's Garner all the way to the rack.
Got to do more of that, but it's got to happen at this end as well. They are not finding their men.
Little 4-0 run out of the timeout would help Penn State, too, if Radford would stop hitting threes. They're 11 out of 21 from beyond the arc. Duquesne was just 17 out of 34 against him the other night. Davis drawing contact. There's only 6 on the shot clock when that happened.
Yeah, very nice offense. Right here, good offensive rebound by Brandon Taylor. Just gets right back into the game. And then Garner, this is his best drive of the game in terms of determination and speed and strength. He's had several go into his left hand. That's been his most successful play. I think he should do it more often.
Garner's got 11. Moore's got 12. Taylor 14 for Penn State.
Foster's in the game for his defense. Number 3 is guarding Yaya Anderson. He's got to stay close and not help.
Holcomb powers it up and in.
Taylor didn't want to foul. He got caught on Holcomb giving away 4 inches.
And now the steal. Moore gave it away, but gets it right back. That's a break for Penn State, down 9. Nittany Lions have rallied from down 11 already in this game. Moore. That hook shot wouldn't go for him this time. Davis. He's got 11. Jones, the leader, with 23 for Radford.
He's been great from 3 and drives to the basket. Josh Reeves is on Jones.
Radford content to take the shot clock down here. Rashawn Davis right around Moore. And the lefty layup goes.
Hard guy to guard. Quick, strong. Can't put your hands on him because of the new rules.
Penn State desperate to find somebody with a hot hand right now. Shrink wrap D from Radford. Moore way out there. Taylor the board. Taylor backing, missing, trying again. Moore with the follow. It doesn't count. Foul before that.
Inside. Size and advantage. Taylor does not want to foul. He feels like it's an offense. Davis weaves his way through three Nittany Lions and makes a play at the goal. Quick, strong, powerful, scorer's mentality.
Two-shot foul for Taylor.
Penn State shooting 61% on the year from the free throw line coming into this game. And they haven't really improved much.
No, they're 10 out of 18 from the line tonight. Radford's only been there 10 times, making 5. One out of 2 for Taylor.
Clock is the enemy. Down 10. Got to make something happen at this end.
Both teams in the bonus. Davis finds the open man. And steps called here. Good D by Donovan Jack.
Excellent that time. Jack was outside hedging on Davis and then went all the way back into the paint.
Former high school volleyball star Donovan Jack, so you figure he's got some quick feet. Garner brings it up. Radford has already slayed Georgetown early this year.
Won the game in double overtime.
Here's Banks. In there.
That's an aggressive play. Now find your man.
Peyton Banks has 10. Radford just needs to rest for a minute here. We've still got a couple of timeouts to go. We've got 4:28 to go. And Penn State.
Those teams you're going to see in the NCAA tournament, and likely Radford might be one of those from the Big South as well.
Radford's always up there. At least they have been since Mike Jones took over the program 5 years ago. He's recruited very well. A lot of seniors here. And again, these guys are battle-tested. They've won at Virginia Tech. They've won at Georgetown in the last couple of years.
Yep. 22 wins last year. 22 wins the year before. They are a confident group.
And boy, they can shoot from outside. They've done that tonight.
Individual defense is the name of the game at this juncture.
Jack provides it. And a rebound ripped out of there by Reeves.
Jack has been good helping on his D. Garner has 11 points, 8 assists, and only 1 turnover.
That one tipped out of bounds with 3:54 left in regulation. And by the way, tomorrow night, an all-new episode of BTN's award-winning original series, The Journey. Big Ten Football 2015. It returns tomorrow, 10 Eastern, right here exclusively on BTN.
What I'm seeing right now from Radford is they are doing a great job of getting after Shep Garner and double-teaming him. They realize he's the guy at the end of the game who needs to make the plays with the basketball. He's been double-teamed 3 times in the last 4 possessions.
Shot clock near 5. Moore, there's that hook that he loves. He got it again. 5 of those hook shots, right?
5 of them in a game. The jump hook, impossible to block.
Career high 14 points overall. Nittany Lions to within a half a dozen.
Individual D.
Davis. Another 3 for Radford. It is Duquesne Part 2.
This kid is tough. Davis is really a very, very good player. He's got energy to burn, too.
Boy, that quieted the crowd. Under 3 to go now. Garner blocked from behind, no foul. All ball, and here come the Highlanders. Davis again, and the block at the other end by Reeves. Off of Radford. Penn State might need to start hitting them from way downtown, like Radford's been doing all night.
You got to take it to the basket at this juncture of the game. Hopefully stop the clock and score from the free throw line. And get something done with your D. Drive it. Drive it.
Taylor with the 4 fouls, hooks it into Jack, who missed. Well, they followed your game plan, they just couldn't execute.
Well, he's not your go-to guy. Players have to understand, you know, that it's a team game, but at certain junctures in the game, you've got to have your top guys taking the shots.
1 timeout is left now for Radford. He's really the difference in the game.
No doubt about that from the scoring point of view, but there have been junctures in this game where Penn State's defense has failed them, and Radford scored lots of easy baskets close in besides the threes. Penn State switching defense here. And I mentioned a couple of times in a row, it's a matter of individual defense. You can't gamble. Stay between your man and the basket. If you have to switch screens, you switch.
4 to shoot. Anderson fadeaway. No. Loose ball foul called on Jack.
That was good defense that time.
It's 3 on Donovan Jack. And Bob, you got to give this Radford team some credit. We mentioned the 5 games in 8 days. Their bus broke down getting here last night. They had to spend the night on the West Virginia border in a hotel. They didn't actually sleep out there on the road or anything, but long, tough travel week for them.
You credit the coach in situations like that. I mean, the coach can get angry and all that and get tense and all, and he did not at all. He handled it as a life experience. And he's done a wonderful job coaching this team. They play confidently.
Well, and here's Holcomb, not a good foul shooter, just confidently sinking right there to get it to an 11-point lead again.
Token press makes you take more time to get the ball up the court.
Jack recovers and draws the foul here anyway. He doesn't score, but he'll go to the line. That's on Holcomb, his 3rd.
Jack's left-handed, and he went up to the basket right there, almost above the basket because he has good hops. I mean, the right hand is what he should have shot that shot with. It would have been an easy basket.
Jack hasn't scored yet tonight.
Well, he's taken a couple of threes, and he's been challenged around the goal a little bit. He's not one of their better offensive players.
It doesn't help just top to bottom here, Bob. But Penn State has struggled from the line tonight.
Yeah, that's going to rear its ugly head. Happens to a lot of teams. It's early in the season, so maybe it's just an aberration early in the first few games.
That's the biggest takeaway. I mean, at least until after Thanksgiving, I think it's so unfair to judge and project. You know, I mean, whatever happens now, these are all teaching moments. And the idea is to clean it all up by the time, say, New Year's Eve arrives. That's when the conference schedule gets going.
The play of Julian Moore has been a big positive in this game for Penn State. His offense, they're going to need. Josh Reeves right here is a good offensive player. He struggled guarding Radford's perimeter guys. See how the guy goes right around him?
Polite missed it, but Radford recovers. And as the shot clock expires, they all but put this thing away.
Experienced player. Holcomb's a 50-year senior. Been around a long time.
It's a good point to make tonight overall, as that one is out of bounds. And going back to Radford, it's a senior-laden Radford team. I know they're out of the Big South. Nobody talks about them a lot, but they've been there, done that. And let's face it, Penn State is a young team right now. DJ.
I don't think you took any science courses.
No. One, but freshman year. I can't remember even what it was.
It was required, probably.
It was absolutely required. 12-point lead for Radford. Again, give the Highlanders their due credit.
Jones with the ball has been remarkably solid offensively in this game. Not only from the three-point arc, but the ability to put the ball on the floor and go to the hole as well. Radford is a much quicker team than Penn State. So Penn State's going to have its handful in the Big Ten. There's no doubt about that.
There's your Duluth Trading, a hardest working player. He's about to perhaps get his all-time career best in terms of points. Nope. as it danced on the rim, but still a 23-point game for Cameron Jones. Duluth trading hardest working player. Foul there was on Keon Brown, and they'll walk it down the other way.
Jones shot 43% from three-point land last year for the season. Had 20 against Georgetown earlier this year. Has 23 right now against Penn State. He averaged only 8 points a game last year, and he's probably going to average about 15 or 16 this season.
That didn't go well. By the way, Penn State gets a few days off for Thanksgiving. Bucknell comes in to play an afternoon game this coming weekend, and then Penn State is off to play Boston College.
Also, Penn State's first two games in the conference at Maryland, at Michigan.
Yeah.
What a way to start.
Welcome to your conference play, right?
Right.
Fouls on Foster. What about Michigan, by the way? And you know, John Beilein, by the way, and Mike Jones, the coach for Radford, go back a little bit.
Mike was an assistant to John Beilein for a while.
What do you think the Wolverines will do this year?
I think they're going to be good. You know, I mean, Derek Walton's back. Harris LeVert is back. I mean, they got all their guys. Zach Irvin. So inside they should be good.
I don't think there's any...
They've lost a surprising game the other night by a wide margin, and that surprised me a little bit. But I think John Beilein's a great coach. I think they got a great program, and they'll be much, much better. They were really hit by the injury bug last year.
And across state, Michigan State already with that notice-serving win against Kansas. 3 balls dancing out.
Well, the best thing that's happening in the Big Ten Conference right now is Denzel Valentine.
I agree.
Talk about the Kansas game. 29 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. Think about that. I mean, that's Magic Johnson, man. I mean, that's LeBron James. This guy's playing great. Deontay Davis, also one of the freshmen for Michigan State, one of the big guys in the league, who's doing a very, very good job.
You got a pick for a stealth team this year, Bob? Somebody that nobody's talking about in the conference that might push forward a little bit more than people think?
Well, I think Iowa. You know, I think that they are a very experienced team. They're explosive. They're hard to defend, and they have a confident group. And I think Iowa is going to be very. Now they're 5-0, so it's not a surprise that I say they're good. But you know, watching them dismantle Marquette the other day was amazing. Jock is a great outside shooter. Zell's a good point guard. I mean, they have, and Utah is probably one of the better players in the league.
Reminder, you'll see Ohio State next here on Big Ten Network. Foster. And he's got a career high as he knocks down his second three. Has 10 points for the night. I have a career high. And Radford just looking to run out the clock here. Ohio State taking on Louisiana Tech next. Garner the steal. Couldn't finish, but the putback by York, who's had a breakout game tonight. And the Nittany Lions will foul and hope that Radford misses a slew of free throws the rest of the way. That one going on Reeves, number 2.
Well, I talked to Patrick Chambers at practice today, and he's a ever-positive person, attacks life with gusto every single day. And that's a bunch of disappointed faces on the sideline. But as we mentioned earlier game, a lot of help coming. They've had a top 15 recruiting class, 4 players coming in. They have 2 guys who are on the team right now practicing with them. Samuel, transfer from UConn. And Watkins, a 6'8" player, he's on the left. Samuel is the player third from the left. Those 2 players are going to be starters next year, so they got a lot of help coming on this group. It's an awesome building, 15,000 seats. Bryce Jordan Center right here.
This is a pretty place, isn't it?
It really is. They have some, you know, last year they won 2 games in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, and lost that third one by, what, 6 points? I mean, they were that close to making a really deep run.
This year, the tournament is in Indianapolis. Next year, the Verizon Center. And the year after that, 2018, Madison Square Garden. So it's moving around a bit. Big Ten Network, Big Ten Conference, getting the East Coast seaboard.
Penn State falls.